Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to do a deep dive on something you might have seen in the headlines lately, pink cocaine,
Yes.
especially after the tragic death of Liam Payne.
Yes. Very tragic.
His initial toxicology report showed this substance in his system,
Right.
but the name itself is really misleading.
It really is. It's almost like calling a wolf in sheep's clothing a fluffy friend.
Okay, so first things first.
Yeah.
What is pink cocaine?
Well, it might surprise you to learn that it often doesn't even contain cocaine
Really?
at all. Think of it more like a dangerous chemistry set mixture.
Oh, wow.
The American Journal of Drug and Alcohol Abuse did a study recently,
Okay.
and they found that it's typically a powdery mix of ketamine and other illicit substances,
Okay.
like meth, MDMA, and even opioids.
That's a pretty terrifying mix.
It is.
And I read somewhere that it gets its pink color from food coloring.
Yes.
That just seems crazy to me.
It does, doesn't it? It's almost like they're trying to make it more appealing, which is a scary thought in itself.
Yeah.
But you're absolutely right.
Wow.
The pink hue often comes from simple food coloring.
Huh.
And of all the ingredients I mentioned, ketamine tends to be the most common active ingredient.
Now, I've also heard the term 2C
Yes.
used interchangeably with pink cocaine.
Right.
Is that accurate?
Well, that's where things get even more complicated.
Okay.
2C originally referred to a drug that actually contained 2CB, which is a psychedelic,
Okay.
but that's rarely found in what they're calling kink cocaine these days.
Wow.
And to make matters worse,
Turn it on.
the UN Office on Drugs and Crime has found that this cocktail isn't just limited to powder form.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they found liquid versions of it,
Like what?
like Happy Water and K-powdered milk popping up. And they're seeing this especially in Latin America and Thailand.
So it's spreading and evolving.
It is.
That's kind of a scary thought.
It is.
But beyond just the name confusion, what makes pink cocaine so dangerous? I mean, is it just the mix of different drugs?
Well, that's a huge part of it.
Okay.
The unpredictable mix makes it pretty much impossible to know what you're actually taking and how your body's going to react.
Right.
New York's special narcotics prosecutor, Bridget Brennan, she put it pretty bluntly in an interview.
What did she say?
She said, "It's a crapshoot anytime you take any street drugs."
Wow. So it's like
Yeah.
you're playing a dangerous lottery with your health.
Exactly.
And potentially your life.
That's right. And the potential side effects are a laundry list of things you definitely want to avoid.
Like what?
We're talking anxiety, hallucinations, and nausea, a racing heart.
Yeah.
And because your judgment is so impaired, it puts you at higher risk of dangerous situations, like physical or sexual assault.
This brings us to the tragic case of Liam Payne.
Yes.
You mentioned the toxicology report.
Uh-huh.
Can you remind us of the details of his death?
Of course. So the night that he passed, there was a very distressed 911 call from his hotel room.
Oh, wow.
And the receptionist mentioned a guest, they think it was Payne, who was clearly intoxicated and was causing damage to the room.
Oh, no.
They even said they were worried he might harm himself.
Oh, gosh.
And very soon after that, he was found dead after falling from his third-floor balcony.
That's incredibly sad.
It is.
And while we can't know for sure, it seems likely that the pink cocaine played a role in this.
It's impossible to say for certain, but it certainly does highlight the dangers of taking something when you don't know what you're ingesting.
Right.
Or how your body's going to respond.
So we've established that this cocktail is unpredictable and potentially lethal.
Yes.
Can you break down why mixing these types of drugs is so dangerous?
Sure.
Particularly stimulants like cocaine or meth with a depressant like ketamine?
Well, it's kind of like throwing your body systems into complete chaos.
Oh, wow.
Stimulants, they stimulate your central nervous system, which sends your heart rate and your energy levels through the roof.
Oh, okay.
Depressants, on the other hand, do the opposite.
Right.
They slow things down,
Boy, hard.
rate your breathing.
So what happens when you mix the two? Does your body just short circuit?
Essentially, yes.
Oh, no.
Bridget Brennan explained it as sending your heart conflicting messages,
Okay.
like slamming on the gas and the brakes at the same time.
Oh, gosh.
And that can lead to some serious complications like cardiac arrest.
So it's really a recipe for disaster.
It is.
And to make matters worse,
Yeah.
there's no guarantee that what's being sold as pink cocaine even has the same mixture from batch to batch.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The drug market, especially for illicit substances, is constantly evolving.
Right.
And Brennan actually highlighted this in an interview with NBC News, where she said, the drug market right now is the most dangerous she's ever seen it.
Oh, wow.
And she specifically warned that people should never assume they're getting what they paid for, especially with something as variable as pink cocaine.
That's a chilling thought.
It is.
So after unpacking all of this, what's the key takeaway for our listeners?
Well, first and foremost, the name pink cocaine is dangerously misleading.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it creates this illusion of a familiar party drug,
Mm-hmm.
when in reality, it's masking this dangerous cocktail of substances.
So it's not even just knowing your drugs.
Yeah.
It's about understanding that with something like this, you literally never know what you're getting.
Exactly. And that brings us to the second takeaway. This unpredictable mix of drugs makes it a gamble with really high stakes.
Right. You can't predict how your body will react, and the consequences could be severe, even deadly.
Yes. And finally, even if we ignore the risks of the drug itself, there's the danger of this increasingly unpredictable illicit drug market.
Right.
Think of it like this. You're going to a restaurant, and the menu lists this delicious meal, but when your plate arrives, it could be anything. From a gourmet dish to like a plate of scraps, or even something completely toxic.
You just don't know.
You really don't.
That's a great analogy. And it highlights that lack of control people have when they're dealing with illicit substances.
Exactly.
It's not like buying a product in a store where you can read the ingredients and trust the label.
Exactly. And that lack of transparency makes the risks so much higher.
Right.
You're putting your faith and essentially your life in the hands of people who are just motivated by profit, not your safety.
So where do we go from here? How do we combat this issue with pink cocaine and the dangers it represents?
Well, I think education and awareness is key. We need to go beyond that catchy, almost seductive name and reveal the true danger behind it.
It's like we need a whole new vocabulary to talk about these substances.
Yeah.
One that cuts through those street names and emphasizes the consequences.
Absolutely. But it's not just about changing the language. It's about challenging the perceptions that surround drug use in general. We have to move away from simplistic narratives and acknowledge the complex factors that contribute to addiction and risky behavior.
Right. So it's not just about individual choices.
Yeah.
It's about understanding the social, economic, and cultural forces that shape those choices.
Exactly. And we have to be willing to confront those forces head on and address those systemic issues that make certain people more vulnerable to using drugs.
So it's about looking beyond the individual and really tackling those root causes.
Yeah.
But what about those who are already struggling or engaging in risky behavior? What can we do to help them?
Well, it's important to separate prevention from harm reduction. So prevention focuses on stopping drug use before it starts. Harm reduction acknowledges that people will engage in risky behavior and aims to minimize those negative consequences.
Can you give us an example of what harm reduction looks like in practice?
Sure. Think about needle exchange programs. They don't condone drug use, but they recognize that people who inject drugs are at a higher risk contracting HIV or hepatitis C. So by providing clean needles, they reduce the spread of those diseases.
So it's about meeting people where they are and providing support.
Yes.
Without judgment.
Exactly. It's about recognizing that people are complicated and their choices are often shaped by a lot of different circumstances. Shaming someone rarely leads to positive change.
So harm reduction is about offering that lifeline, a chance to make better choices without condemning them for their past.
Precisely. It's about recognizing the dignity and worth of every individual, regardless of their struggles.
Now, shifting gears a bit. I know pink cocaine has become notorious for being so dangerous because of its unpredictable makeup. But what about the broader landscape of the drug market? Are there other trends we should be aware of?
Unfortunately, yes. The drug market is always changing, with new synthetic drugs emerging all the time. And even traditional substances like heroin or cocaine, they're often laced with additives, which makes the effects even more dangerous and unpredictable.
So it's not just about new drugs. It's about the increasingly complex ways existing drugs are being mixed and altered.
Exactly. And this makes educating people about the risks so much harder.
How so?
Because what might have been considered safe or predictable before isn't the case anymore.
So how do we keep up with these ever-changing trends?
Yeah, it can feel like a game of catch-up.
It really does.
But there are resources to help us stay informed. Organizations like NIDA.
Okay, the National Institute on Drug Abuse?
Yes, and SAMHSA.
Okay, and that's a clue?
The Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration.
Okay.
They provide evidence-based information on the latest drug trends.
So it's about going to those trusted sources and not just believing everything we read online.
Exactly. We need to be critical of the information we consume.
Right.
Especially when it comes to our health.
But beyond staying informed, what can individuals do to protect themselves and their loved ones from the dangers of this evolving drug landscape?
I think creating a culture of open and honest communication is crucial.
Okay.
We need to be able to talk about drug use without fear or shame.
So creating safe spaces where people can ask questions, share concerns, and seek help.
Exactly. It's about fostering an environment where people feel empowered to make informed choices and seek help when they need it. And remember, this isn't just about young people. Adults can be just as susceptible to experimentation or risky behavior.
Especially with new trendy substances.
Exactly.
That's a great point. We tend to think of drug use as a problem for a certain age group. But the reality is it can affect anyone.
It can. It doesn't matter your age, your background, or your socioeconomic status.
So it's important to have these conversations across generations and communities.
Absolutely. We need to break down the stigma surrounding drug use.
Okay.
And recognize that it's a complex issue that needs a multifaceted approach.
So it's about recognizing our shared humanity and understanding that anyone can be affected.
Yes, either directly or indirectly.
So after this discussion about the dangers and complexities of the drug market, what's the one key takeaway you want listeners to remember?
I want them to remember that knowledge is power. The more we understand about these substances, the better equipped we are.
To do what?
To make informed choices and protect ourselves and our loved ones. And this is an ongoing conversation. The drug landscape is always changing, so we need to stay informed.
And we also need to be compassionate and understanding that drug use is often a symptom of deeper issues. This has been a truly eye-opening conversation.
It has been.
And I appreciate you taking the time to share your expertise.
Of course. My pleasure.
But before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing. We've talked about the dangers, the trends, the need for education and harm reduction. But what about resources?
Yes.
You know, if someone is struggling with drug use or knows somebody who is in a 3-0, where can they turn for help?
Well, thankfully, there are so many organizations doing amazing work. SAMHSA, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration. They have a national helpline that's available 24/7.
Oh, wow.
You can call or even text 988 to connect with a trained counselor.
That's so important, having that immediate access to help. But I imagine there are also local resources.
There are.
That can provide more like hands-on support.
Absolutely. Most communities have support groups. Treatment programs, all sorts of services tailored to specific needs. You can reach out to local clinics.
Community centers. Even your doctor can offer some guidance.
It can feel really overwhelming to know where to start.
It can.
So having those points of contact is key.
It is.
And I want to emphasize that there's no shame in seeking help.
Absolutely not.
In fact, it's one of the bravest and most important things someone can do.
I completely agree. Reaching out is a sign of strength. It shows your commitment to your well-being. It's really a testament to the human spirit's resilience.
So as we wrap up our deep dive on pink cocaine and this whole landscape of the drug market, what's the one thought you want to leave our listeners with today?
Well, I want them to remember that while these dangers are very real and constantly evolving, so is our knowledge and our capacity for compassion.
That's a good point.
You know, we can really make a difference through education, honest conversations, and supporting those who need it most.
That's beautifully said.
Thank you. This has been a truly insightful conversation.
It has.
And at times unsettling.
Yes.
Thank you for joining us and sharing your expertise.
It was my pleasure.
And to everyone listening, thank you for joining us on this deep dive.
Yes, thank you.
Remember, stay curious, stay informed, and most importantly, Stay safe.
And never hesitate to reach out for help.
Right.
If you or someone you know needs it.
Until next time, keep exploring.
Yes.
Keep learning.
Yeah.
And keep those important conversations going.
Absolutely.